Hi there.
Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Kris.
Connor.
Nice to meet you, Connor.
You too.
I would like to say thank you for coming in. And before we get started, I just want to go over our confidentiality agreement here. If that's all right with you?
For sure.
Perfect. So here at Durham College, this is our counseling service that we offer for free. It's a voluntary program that provides individuals with one-to-one personal support from a student counselor in training, or me. So, well, I'm currently studying in the social service worker program, right? So I'm still a student and I'm still in training, right? I just want to make that clear. So if you agree to participate in this service, we commit to do our best to try and assist you in working towards any goals you identify with. So we want to make sure that this is tailored to what you want. Well, I want to make sure you get the most out of these sessions, right? And we're going to do everything we can to make sure you get the most out of it, right? But however, please understand that there are things out of our control. There are factors that we can't foresee, right? So even though I want you to get the most out of this session, I just also want to be clear in the fact that it may not completely help you, right? Is that clear?
Totally. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. All right, we're almost done here. So if you do benefit from the services, like I said, that's what we want. But if not, we are trying our best, right? The length of involvement in this service is your decision. We will commit to continue working with you as long as you feel it is being helpful.
Okay.
In addition to your involvement in the information shared with your student counselor in training is confidential. So anything we talk about here is only between you and I, right? Now, what I'm going to go over next is that there's actually some exceptions, right? So in all other cases, what we say together stays between us. What we talk about together stays between us, right? But there's a few situations where that wouldn't happen. So if a release of information has been signed by you allowing your personal information to be shared with another particular person or agency, meaning that if you sign something that says we can hand out your information to someone else, like another social service worker or psychiatrist, something like that, that would be okay. But that's a paper you would have to sign, right? And then the next one is if the information being shared with me and I was legally subpoenaed to the courts, right? Then again, I would have to talk about what we went over in our sessions. And if you are at risk of harming yourself or someone else, then again, we would have to release the information, right? Any situation of suspected child abuse, neglect, or domestic violence in the presence of a child, again, these things will be reported. Report of being sexually abused by a regulated health professional, psychiatrist, or a doctor. By signing this form below, you're indicating that you have read and understand all of the above information discussed and resolved any concerns and are providing your informed consent to participate in our services. Is that all right? All right, cool. If you could just sign on the short form here. Great, thank you. Okay, so what brings you in today, Connor?
Well, I have to be here, first off. Well, no, I wouldn't say half, but might as well have to be. You'd have to hear about it every day, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean?
I just think family and stuff, like, just bothering me about stuff that isn't really a problem, but apparently it is, so.
Bothering you about stuff? What stuff? What are they bothering you about?
Just, stupid stuff, laziness, like not getting stuff done, even though I get all my important stuff done. I smoke a lot of weed, but it's legal.
Mm-hmm.
Not a big deal.
No, you're right. It's legal, not against the law, right? So you said they're getting angry at you. If I'm correct, they're getting angry at you for being lazy and for not getting stuff done. And Connor, you say that you get the important things done. So there's just a couple questions I want to ask. So when it comes to them saying you don't get things done and you're lazy, do you think you have any idea what they're talking about there? You think you could fill me in on that?
Yeah, they say it all the time. They say that like my room is messy and like the dishes aren't done and like all this stuff about my bed not being made and like leaving a mess all over the house. It's like, who cares? It's just the house. It's what it's for, right?
Well, I guess everyone's going to have their own opinion on what the house should be or should not be, right? But what's important here is your opinion. So, do you believe that your room is messy?
It's not like super clean, but it's not the worst. Like living there, everything's fine. I know where everything is.
Okay. And you said you have trouble with these. Oh, sorry. You said that they think you're having trouble with these tasks.
Yeah, I've been out of school for a few years now, and I've been working at McDonald's for a while, and my parents think that I can do a lot better. I think I can too. I just don't really care enough to. Why would I want to go out and make more money just to have to lose most of it? And I just I don't really see the point.
Huh. Okay. So you mentioned earlier, we're going to go back to that, but you mentioned earlier, you said you get the important things done. So when you say important things, what are these important things? What do you find important?
Oh, I'm in a band, so we always have band practice.
Okay.
Every Tuesday.
Okay.
Don't miss those ever.
Nice.
And then I am also part of a online gaming team.
Oh.
Every single weekend, both days, on all day, crushing it.
Okay.
Tournaments and stuff like that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great to hear. That is great to hear. Sounds like you got some fun activities, right? So these are the important things to you.
Absolutely. What's better than that?
Wow, you tell me.
Nothing. Maybe weed.
Okay. So you said you're working at McDonald's, right? Do you like working there?
Not really.
I
don't think anyone likes working.
And do you see yourself maybe working somewhere where you'd want to work, where you enjoy it?
I can see it. Yeah, I've always wanted to get into business. I like numbers.
Okay, what kind of business would you get into?
Oh, I don't know. I don't even know what the first thing about business is.
Oh, why the interest in business?
Well, I just like the idea of, crunching numbers and like negotiating. I really like negotiating.
Huh. Do you think there's any jobs that would line up with that you could look into?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I think if you have some time, would you be open to the idea of looking up some jobs that include negotiating and conducting business and whatnot?
Or would I even look these things up or learn about them?
Well, you can look them up on the internet. You can go to the library and look up books for that. You can go to college websites that have courses that are directed towards things like that.
Oh,
right.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's there's quite a bit of information out there. So you say you smoke a lot of weed.
Yeah.
So what would you consider a lot of weed?
Just all day, every day.
Okay. And how much weed would you say that is?
Probably like an ounce a week.
An ounce a week. Okay.
It's expensive stuff.
Oh, yeah. I can imagine that it would be pretty strenuous on your finances, right? Well, obviously depending on your situation, right? But how do you find this habit is affecting your finances?
Oh, it's like all of my money goes right to it. That's basically it.
And do you have money to do other things you enjoy, or?
Every once in a while, like when I get maybe a bit extra pay, or like it's Christmas or something, I get something, or I always keep maybe a little bit of money around, but for the most part, almost of that.
Okay. So what happens when you first get paid? When you get paid, what are you thinking about?
I pay back my dealer, and then I buy some more.
Sorry, you said pay back your dealer.
Yeah, usually he'll spot me because my paycheck, you gotta wait and let me borrow.
Oh. So you're basically, you run up a tab, essentially.
Yeah, I borrow from everyone. My parents, like, who always let me borrow stuff.
Okay. And how do you feel? How does it make you feel having to borrow and ask for things and having to be spotted?
It's great. Like everyone's just down to give it to me. Don't have to buy it.
That's that's one part of it. But how would you say you felt when you got onto that gaming team?
Really good.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't easy, right?
No.
That took effort, right?
I had to make it to the diamond level.
Right? There you go. And how did you feel when you got into the band?
Yeah, it was cool. It just kind of happened, but we made a lot of cool songs together.
Okay. So, what do you think your life would be like if you weren't spending all this money on weed?
I would be on tour around the world. I'd be playing video games in between every tour or every set, and it'd just be great. And no one would be bothering me, and people would clean my own room.
Hmm.
I could smoke weed all day, every day,
Hmm.
just like I do now.
Okay. Well, sorry, you say you smoke weed all day, every day now, right? And now you're saying that without spending all that money on weed, you would have all those things. But then you also mentioned that you would still be smoking weed.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you go about managing yourself financially, considering your current place of employment? If you were to stop spending money on all that weed, what would you be spending the money on?
Probably just gaming equipment or like music equipment.
So stuff to help with your hobbies and interests, right?
Yeah.
And I heard you say earlier that you said your room would be cleaner too.
Yeah, I'd hire a maid.
Oh, there you. So you'd have enough money to hire a maid then.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially, what you're telling me is that if you were to stop spending all this money on weed, you would have more time for both your interests. Your parents would, your family members would be less, it would put less pressure on you, right? They wouldn't be getting on you for not doing these things, right? And you would be able to pursue any other activities, right? Am I hearing that correctly?
Right, but I have to do all that without weed?
Well, technically, you don't have to do anything. But if we're looking at what things you enjoy and what things you feel are important in your life, because when I asked you what was important in your life, you said that the important things you do, you said that it was your job, your band, and gaming. These are the three things you mentioned, right? And then after that, you mentioned being able to smoke weed all day. So from my point of view, it looks like these are the three most important things in your life right now.
I need weed though,
Why do you feel you need weed?
just to help deal with stuff.
And how does the weed deal with stuff?
It just helps me forget about it.
So let's look at the terms you used there. So when you said it helps you to deal with it, but then on the other hand, you said it helps you to forget it. Would you consider forgetting about something dealing with it?
I guess, yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it.
In which way?
Just, if you forget about it, it's not really a problem anymore, is it?
Well, you could say that, but do you feel that forgetting about a problem is dealing with it? And by dealing with it, do you mean resolving?
Whatever gets me through the day, man, that's all I'm looking for.
So what are these stressors that you speak about? What's causing you to want to smoke weed all the time?
I don't know, people are just really loud and like there's always so much going on out in the world. I just feel like it gives me a lot of energy, like a lot of excitement, and I need to like calm down.
Okay. So can you be a bit more specific on if there's something that directly makes you want to smoke weed all day? And if you are smoking weed all day, does this mean you're at home most of the time?
If I'm not at work or I'm not at my friend's house, then yeah.
Okay. So would you say that home is a busy place? Lots going on, do you have lots of family members and brothers and sisters? Do you have other people living with you? Okay, so it's pretty busy at home, and you see weed as a way to unwind.
It's the only way I can get some alone time,
Okay. Now, would it also be fair to say that the weed is also causing you problems in your life?
What problems?
Well, you said to me that you have to pay back your dealer and you have to constantly borrow money off of people.
They're all cool though.
All right, I'm sure they're nice about it, right? But would you say it would be better to have your own financial freedom and have own control?
I mean, yeah, of course.
And you mentioned earlier, you said that you would be able to pursue your hobbies,
Yeah.
right?
But without weed, what's the point?
Well, when did you start smoking weed?
When I was 13.
Okay. And what was it like before you smoked weed? What were you doing?
Kid stuff. I was like 12. I just remember that my mind wasn't racing as much as it is now.
Okay.
So much easier, you know?
So Connor, you mentioned to me that your mind wasn't as racing as much as it was now.
Not that I can remember. I just remember being happy.
Okay. And when did you say the happiness stopped?
Once I got to high school, probably.
Okay.
It's so much work. You wake up early every day and go to school and work in a room with 30 kids. Teachers don't even want to be there.
Yeah, well,
Make anyone unhappy, right?
that's true. And you are right, some teachers don't want to be there, right? But we can't really control how other people feel. And we're not really here to talk about them, right?
No, I guess not.
So, you say you started smoking at 13. And when did you start high school?
I don't know, like when you're like 14 or 15.
Okay. So, you say that you stopped feeling happy in high school, and what would you say you started feeling?
In high school?
If not happy, what would you say the feeling is, or was?
There's nothing. It just feels like just neutral. Feels like everything just sucks.
And how do you feel when you smoke?
Feel good for a bit.
And then how do you feel when you're not smoking?
I need to smoke. Yeah, it's not good.
Have you ever tried slowing down? Have you ever tried quitting?
No, it's terrible. I've gone through a whole day one time and like tried to sleep, couldn't even sleep, and it was just like the worst day. Couldn't even imagine doing that for like a week or anything like that.
Well, you said you went one day, right?
It was hell.
It may have been, but you did make it through it,
Barely.
right? But you were still able to get through it. So that, to me, that shows that you do have the power to slow down on your usage. You do. All of the power resides within you already to stop your whatever bad habits you may have. Or in this case, weed, right? You made it through that day. You did that. Just as you decided to come to this counseling session. I know that there were, your family members were, probably adamant and persistent about it, but in reality, you took the steps to get here. So that shows me, Connor, that, like I said, you're in more control of this than you think.
I know I am. I think I'm in total. Thank you. I just think I'm in total control. Like if I had a problem, I'd stop.
So what would you consider a problem? When would you consider weed to be a problem for somebody?
Never. It's nature's greatest plant. Like it just makes everything okay. You look at the medicinal qualities. It heals people. That's what it's doing for me. It heals me.
So basically what you're saying is that marijuana has healing factors, healing properties, and heals people, right?
Yeah, it makes me feel good.
Okay. Now, how would you say it affects the rest of your life? How would you say it affects your interactions with your family?
Well, it makes it a bit more difficult. They usually, know I'm high or can smell it and don't want to talk to me much, and I don't really want to talk to them.
And how does that make you feel?
Shitty, but I just go smoke weed.
Okay. And how does it affect your work and recreational life with your band and your gaming?
It all gets done, really. I mean, gaming, as long as we're there on time and we're playing and, band practice, that helps, if anything.
So band practice gaming remain essentially unaffected.
Yeah, although I've been wanting to get that new guitar lately, like the new Gibson, and it just
Oh, you play guitar?
yeah,
Oh, that's awesome. How long have you been playing?
8 years.
Nice, nice, good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah,
So,
I'd like to get that guitar. It's so nice. It's so expensive.
and how do you think you could get that guitar?
Become a rock star.
There's one way, but how do we become a rock star?
Make good music.
Yeah, making music, that's another way. What is something we can do now to get you closer to getting that guitar? What is something that you can think of now that'll get you closer to getting that guitar? What do you think would help that?
Free weed.
That would definitely solve your problems, but let's think realistically. Let's think realistically of what you can do to bring you closer to getting that guitar. What can Connor do?
Save money, I guess.
Okay, and how would you go about saving that money?
Probably work more.
Okay, you could work more. What else?
I could try to budget.
Yeah, you could try to budget. And what would that budget plan look like? So, sorry to cut you off. You told me that most of your money goes to buying weed.
Yeah.
So, would you ballpark it at about, would you say 80% of your money?
Probably.
About 80%. Okay. So what if we took half of that and started saving for a guitar? How long would it take you to get that guitar then?
Probably a few months.
And it sounds to me that the band is something very important to you, that you like. You tell me that you're always there for practice. You're there every week, every Tuesday, which is great, right? Shows that there's something in your life that you love to do, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is great. And if I'm hearing this correctly, if you were to stop spending so much money on weed and start saving up for the Gibson, then do you think that you would get the guitar quicker?
I think so.
Okay. So would that be something you're willing to try?
I'd love to, but what about the weed? Like, I need my weed for the day.
Well, you say you need weed, but you told me that you went a whole day without it.
Yeah.
Which is not easy for anyone to do, but you did it.
It's terrible.
But you did it. You made it through. Now, what if you were to maybe try 2 days? Would that be something you're open to?
But what would I have to gain from that?
Well, let's go over a few things. You would be closer to buying that guitar you want. You would feel better about being more financially dependent, right? You wouldn't, because you're not spending as much money on weed, you're now finding your own financial independence, right? This way, you don't have to rely on someone. You don't have to borrow from someone, right? Because would you constantly want to have to lend someone money?
I wouldn't, but they all seem cool with it.
Yeah, right? It's not, it may not be ideal, right? Whereas, do you think gaining your own financial independence would help with multiple areas of your life?
I think it would help with everything, for sure.
Right? So, I'm glad you noticed that, Connor, right? It seems you have a pretty good view on things, right? And that's good. So how would you say that it has affected your relationship with your work? Has your weed habits affected your work at all?
My attendance isn't so great. I'm usually high at work, which helps me. Just get through the day. It can be really loud and busy. But yeah, the attendance is, sometimes I sleep in, or I'm just feeling too shitty, too burnt out, tired, don't go in, but otherwise it's fine. I've had the job for a couple of years now.
And how do you think that is affecting your relationship with your peers and your superiors? Do you feel like They rely on you to be there and work and help them.
Oh, I get it all done, all the important stuff.
What do you mean by the important things?
I know I go to work and I get it done.
Okay. So if you had an employee that was showing up late, missing days, how would that employee look in your eyes? What would you think of them?
It's probably not really reliable.
Now, would you want someone to think that of you?
No, because if it's important, I can be reliable.
So, would you consider your relationship with your family important, an important thing?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of piss me off, but of course, I've had some good moments and good family.
Well, you being here just goes to show that your family supports you making better choices for yourself and better choices for the future, right? So you're telling me on one hand that you love smoking weed and you can't do anything without it. But on the other hand, you tell me of all these great things you have going for you. You have a family that supports you, and you said yourself if you were to stop smoking as much weed and getting these tasks done, these small tasks, menial tasks around the house done, that would relieve the pressure they put on you, correct?
Oh, it would for sure.
Right? So that would, in turn, could be making your life better. And then there's the question of equipment for gaming, right? Headsets, monitors. These are all things that are pretty pricey. And if you were to stop spending so much money on weed, maybe you could get some gaming equipment, right?
But what do I do without the weed? I don't know how to go about that.
Well, there's a few things you can do. You said that you have 2 hobbies that you really enjoy, right?
But how do I deal with life without the weed?
Well, what is there to deal with?
It's just so much. It's so loud, and there's so much going on, and there's just so much energy, and it all just sucks.
And how do you feel when dealing with these problems normally?
Without weed?
Without weed.
Really stressed out.
Okay. Now, you say that the weed helps with dealing, like, your emotions and dealing with the stress at the business. So, what type of feelings come up when you talk about the stress? How do you feel when you talk about there being too many people and lots of stuff? What is it specifically?
It's probably like fear, if I had to guess. Just worried, always worried about like what could go wrong. And when I stop or when I smoke weed, then I just don't worry.
Okay. So would you say when smoking weed, you find it easier to interact and talk with people? Okay. And you said that it helps with the stress. So when it comes to dealing with the stress, do you feel has anything else ever helped? Has drumming or sorry, playing guitar in the band ever helped? Has gaming ever helped? What about your social circle outside of that?
Well, it all helps. It's just so much more fun when you're high.
Hmm.
Like when I go do those things, if I'm sober, I immediately just want to get high.
Okay. So you say that you enjoy being high, right? But then you also tell me of all these issues that you may be that you're experiencing as well within your life in terms of having to borrow money, not always showing up to work on time or showing up at all, arguing and having confrontations with family members, right? What do you think your life would be like without the weed?
I feel like it'd be harder.
In which way?
Well, I just, whenever I have any of those issues and anything goes wrong, I just don't smoke weed and I feel better. So if I have those issues and I'll wait to go smoke, then what's going to make me feel better?
So, have you tried talking to your family about how you feel?
No.
About the stress?
No.
Do you feel like there might be a disconnect, like they don't understand completely?
Maybe they just think it's the weed.
Well, again, you say that you can't do anything without the weed, but the weed didn't teach you to play video games. You did that yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The weed didn't teach you how to play guitar, and the weed didn't get you the job. All of the things you enjoy and the things you do are because of you, not because of the weed. All of those things that you practice and dedicate yourself and earn are all things that you earn and not the weed.
And that's true.
There might be, if you were to slow down on smoking weed, would you say that you have more time for the things you enjoy?
Yeah, I guess I would.
Right? You say that your life without the weed would be miserable and stressful. Yet you would have more time for the things you enjoy. And because you said you started smoking at 13 and haven't stopped since, right? Okay. So this, understandably is a scary lifestyle change. And as you said before, you have a lot of anxiety. You said there's fear, right? So I totally understand when you say that, you don't want to stop smoking weed because it's been so comforting. But on the other hand, I could also say that you haven't given enough time to a lifestyle without weed to really get the full effect or benefit. Do you think that would be fair to say?
It would be fair.
So, if there are some things that we can look into, one of them could be, like you mentioned yourself, budgeting, right? So you could look into things that, you want to buy, right? And then there would be more time with your family, right? You would perform better at your job. Connor, you say to me that your life would be miserable and stressful, but when you tell me about all the things you have going for yourself, it seems like you would enjoy your life more if you could do these things that you like. Is that fair to say?
When you put it like that, yeah, probably.
Right. But I think we've done well for today, and it seems like you may have a new mindset on it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call it a problem yet, but there's definitely some issues might need to be worked on.
Okay, but you would be open to potentially changing the behavior.
Yeah, maybe a little.
Yeah, and I feel like we've gone over some things today that you can take home, think about, and maybe start applying. Sorry. But hopefully in our next session, we can go over some of those things and, think about applying them. How does that sound?
I think that sounds good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, our time is up here today, Connor. I wanted to thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you so much.
And I wish you the best and hopefully see you soon.
All right.